Hi, Diane. It's good to see you. Before we start, I want to remind you that this is a confidential space. Um, and the only time I would need to break confidentiality or if I'm concerned about your safety or someone else's. Does that feel clear to you?
Yes, that's clear. Thanks.
Thank you. So, how have been things going since our last session?
Well, not great, honestly. The anniversary of my dad's death is coming up, and it's always such a hard time for me. I thought I'd be stronger this year. I mean, it's been 10 years, but it's hitting me just as hard as it did back then. I've been having these strong urges to drink, and it's like I can't think of anything else. I feel like I'm drowning in my grief again. I just want it to stop. Numbing it feels easier than facing it.
Diane, I can hear how heavy this time of year feels for you. Anniversaries of loss can bring up so much pain, especially when it's tied to someone as important as your dad. It's natural to feel overwhelmed, and I really admire that you reached out to talk about it instead of trying to handle it all on your own.
I don't want to go back to drinking, but it's so hard. I feel so guilty, like I should have been able to stop him or done something differently. And then I get mad at myself because I know drinking won't fix anything. It never does. But the thought of sitting with all this pain feels unbearable.
You know, Diane, you've been sober for 18 months, which is such a huge accomplishment. Even now, with everything you're feeling, you're showing so much strength by acknowledging your emotions and being here to work through them. You know, remember that you've been doing this for 18 months, so you know that you can do it. Seeing your successes empowers your progress, highlighting your abilities and strengths and potential. Um, in thinking of this, let's explore what's helped you stay on this path, even during tough times like these.
Well, journaling helps. I feel like when I write, I can at least let some of the chaos in my head out. Yoga helps too, especially when I can focus on my breathing and the sweats and talking circles I've been going to. They help me feel like I'm part of something bigger, like I'm not alone in this. And of course, my Wellbriety group. My sponsor has been amazing, but I feel like I've been avoiding her because I'm embarrassed about how much I've been struggling.
Journaling, yoga, and ceremonies are all really powerful tools, and it sounds like your Well-Body group and sponsor have been a big part of your healing. The fact that you're actively seeking ways to support yourself speaks of how relentless you are. I also hear you're carrying some feelings of uncertainty about reconnecting with your culture and maybe some guilt about reaching out to your sponsor. You know, these are normal feelings, Diane, especially during such emotionally charged times. Uh, how do you feel about leaning into these supports more deeply as you work through this grief? And do you notice the experiences you have with what you focus on? So when you focus on your journaling and your yoga and ceremonies, and then when you focus on feeling shame and guilt, do you notice that?
Yes, I notice that when I think of yoga and journaling, I feel lighter and less stressed. But when I think of shame and guilt, I begin to feel badly about myself. I think it could help to reach out and lean into cultural supports, but I don't know how. I feel like there's so much I don't understand. I don't want to do it wrong or offend anyone. Like with the sweat, how do I even approach it? What do I bring? What do I say? It's overwhelming.
It's okay to feel that way, Diane. Everyone starts somewhere, and there's no need to have it all the answers right now. Many people feel unsure when they're reconnecting with cultural practices, especially something as sacred as a sweat. It might help to talk to an elder who can guide you and answer those questions. What would it be like to share some of your feelings with an elder?
I think that could help. I guess I just need someone to walk me through it, like what to expect and how to prepare. I don't want to mess anything up.
That makes a lot of sense, Diane. An elder can help with those details and answer any questions about what to bring or to do. If it feels helpful, maybe we can take some time in our next session to go over what's needed for a sweat, what to bring, how to prepare, and what you might experience. This way, you'll feel more comfortable and ready.
That would help a lot. I've always wanted to go, but the fear of doing it wrong holds me back.
You're not alone in that feeling, Diane. Many people feel nervous their first time, and that's completely okay. If it would help, I'd be happy to attend the next community sweat with you. That way, you don't have to go alone and you'll have someone there to support you.
Really? That would mean so much to me. I've always felt like I'm on the outside looking in when it comes to these ceremonies. Having someone there with me would make it feel less overwhelming.
Of course, Diane. You're taking such a brave step in reconnecting with your culture, and I want to support you in any way that I can. Let's plan to talk more about what to expect and how to prepare during our next session. We'll make sure you feel ready and supported.
That makes me feel a whole lot better. I think going to a sweat could help me process some of this grief in a way that I haven't been able to before.
That's such an important insight, Diane. The sweat can be a powerful space for healing and connection, not just with your dad's spirit, but also with yourself and your community. We'll take it step by step so that it feels manageable and meaningful for you. You know, when those feelings come up, what's one thing you can do to ground yourself or redirect the urge to use, even if it's just for a few minutes?
Well, I could try journaling or smudging. Smudging always helps me feel calmer, like I'm not so alone. And maybe I could call my sister too. She knows how hard this time of year is for me, and she's good at helping me see things clearly.
Those are all great options. Smudging, journaling, and reaching out to your sister are powerful ways to create space between you and those urges. How would it feel to schedule a meeting with an elder who helps with our wellness and addiction prevention and have that as another source of support if things begin to feel overwhelming?
I like that idea. Knowing I have something planned with an elder make, helps me feel surely grounded, like I have something to look forward to. She may also give me more ideas about traditional medicines that might help me too.
Yes, there's lots of traditional medicines that can help with recovery and relapse prevention, and that's a solid plan. You've got a strong support system in place, and you're creating meaningful ways to navigate this anniversary with intention and care. Don't forget your sponsor is also a great resource for you, and I would like to encourage you to reach out to her. You've made such good progress with the Wellbriety program for the last 18 months.
Right, my sponsor. I've been feeling guilty about not talking to her more. I should reach out and let her know how hard things are right now. I know she'll be understanding, but I've been avoiding her because I'm embarrassed.
It's completely understandable that you've been struggling with that, but reaching out to her could really help right now. Your sponsor is there to support you, and she's walked through with you through many tough times. I'm sure she'll be there to help you navigate these feelings without any judgment.
You're right. I'll give her a call tonight.
So you've done some amazing work today, Diane. You've been honest about your feelings. You're coming up with some meaningful ways to support yourself through this challenging time. Before we wrap up, let's review your goals and the steps you've identified to move forward. You'll attend the upcoming Sweat Lodge. You'll prepare by writing down what you want to release and dedicate the sweat to your dad. You can also light a candle afterwards as a way to connect with him and express your feelings.
Yes, I like those steps I think they're going to really help me process everything.
Great. You've also mentioned reaching out to your sister when you're feeling overwhelmed, using smudging and journaling to ground yourself, and can contact your sponsor to share how you've been feeling. These are such thoughtful and effective ways to create a solid support system for yourself. How do you feel about these goals?
I feel good about them. I know I've been avoiding my sponsor, but I'm going to call her tonight. I need to let her know what's going on instead of trying to handle it alone.
Yeah, that's such a strong and proactive step, Diane. Your sponsor will be glad to hear from you. And it's a great way to lean into support you've built through the Wellbriety program. I'm really proud of the way you're taking charge of your healing.
Thank you. I've been feeling stuck for so long, but this feels like something I can do.
It absolutely is. You're taking intentional and meaningful steps to take care of yourself and honor your dad in a way that supports your sobriety and your healing. Let's plan to check in next week and talk about how everything went, with your sponsor, and also how you're feeling after the anniversary of your dad's death.
Okay, that sounds good. I think knowing we'll talk again next week will help me stay focused.
Perfect. Remember, Diane, you're not alone in this. If you're feeling overwhelmed at any point, you can reach out to your sister, your sponsor, the elder, or even me before our next session. You've built such a strong foundation of support, and you're taking the right steps to keep moving forward.
Thank you, Kathy. This really does feel like a turning point for me. I appreciate everything you've done to help.
You're very welcome, Diane, but you're the one that has been doing the hard work. And you've shown so much strength and determination today, and I'm confident you're going to continue making progress. I'll see you next week.
Which